So we're back, and we're so excited to be here with Dave Holodiloff, and we're just going to keep rolling with our theme today is the artist's life. We're so lucky to be here in Monterey County. There are so many creative souls here, and some are doing it on their own. Some are out there sharing with the world, like all the people we just talked about with the Monterey County Open Studio Tour. And there's some wonderful musicians like Dave Holodiloff. You're going to see him all over the place in Monterey County. Many different genres, many different formats, many different groups. But he's going to do something solo for us right now. Oh, you even have a whole program, right? Holodiloff?
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, here we go. Here's something from that.
Thank you.
Morning.
That is a great wake me up.
Or afternoon. When's this going to air? We don't know. Good day.
It's good for any time of the day. This is so exciting to have you here, and thank you for playing that for us. That's one of the most exciting pieces ever. And so how did you get started, particularly with that kind of music? But then we'll back up and talk about some other kinds too. But what drew you to this style? It's not easy whatsoever.
It's a beautiful style. It's Bulgarian folk music, and they call that a kopanica, which is an 11/8 time signature type dance. And you can tell there's a lot of ornamentation in the music. It's very different to what we hear in the West a lot, but I think that's what attracted me to it. It's a little more exotic for us.
And how did you first come across it?
Well, I think it'd been slowly introduced to me over time. You know, I'd picked up a few Balkan tunes here and there, and then about a year and a half ago, started collaborating with a friend of mine who had been living in Eastern Europe, and he showed me a lot of tunes, and we ended up making a CD kept together with my whole band called the Balkan String Project.
And you performed here too, right, with the Balkan String Project?
Yeah, so we've done a few performances of that and have the album out, and so it's all Balkan folk music, but kind of done, you know, in our California way with strings, with a mandolin, which is not traditional in that style of music, but it works.
It sounds perfect, though. It sounds like it's exactly right for that. Yeah. I never even thought of that.
That's just one of the things that I like.
Well, speaking of that, one of the things that I've noticed over the years is that some of the people who like that Eastern European sound the most, or the Middle Eastern sounds, you know, that whole region really, are the Celtic musicians. So you'll see people like Andy Irvine just going crazy. You know, he'll do a whole thing of his own compositions and traditional things, and all of a sudden they'll break out a piece like that. So can you talk a little bit about your broader interests, you know, other kinds of music that you also really love to play, especially like maybe in the last few years or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. I totally see that connection between Celtic music and Balkan folk music, and maybe not everyone does.
Yeah.
But I certainly do as a player of both styles
Uh-huh.
and a listener of both styles. You know, they're both strong melody based.
Yeah.
They both have dances that go with
Yeah,
the songs. And you know, except the time signatures are pretty different and the harmonies, you know. But I like them both. So I love Celtic music, as we both do, I know. I love pretty much any kind of folk music from around the world, including creating my own pieces too. It's kind of drawing from that, you know, whether it's Brazilian choro or American folk and bluegrass and Celtic, European music. There's a lot of, you know, subgenres within all that, but I like.
And I guess the more you look around the world, the more you can find those similarities. There's something that's going to be similar no matter where you go to what you're already familiar with, don't you find? And then you also become really drawn by the differences as well, right?
Certainly, we're using a lot of the same notes. So
what I notice about your work is that it's so broad. There's so many different things that you're doing. When you were first starting out, how did you start?
Good
How
question.
did you know that was a thing that you wanted to do, pursue, keep going?
It's just a feeling. It feels really good, right? When you have those magic moments when you're playing music or listening to it, you know, you get goosebumps when you're at a concert or something. But I remember having some great moments as a youngster, as a drummer.
4, 5, 10.
Well, my folks were both musicians. There was music around the house, but they didn't really push it on me. I was way more into sports, had a lot of energy, but I had to choose an instrument in 5th grade, I think when I was 10, and I picked up drums. And studied that through middle school, you know, and high school as well, you know, marching band, orchestra, jazz band, you name it.
And can you tell us, I mean, there's so many of us, including your mom, who are really interested in making arts education, music education available for kids in the schools. And there was a good long time from about 2000 to about 2014, 2013, 14, when there was very, 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 very little in the public schools. But were you coming through at a time when there really was options? You could take classes as part of the school, part of the school experience, right?
Yeah, I'm very fortunate and lucky to have that experience, and it was, you know, good and fun, and I learned from it. You know, it wasn't one of those like, oh, I have to go to band. Like, I always looked forward to going to band. In fact, I was practicing in the practice room extra, you know, and home, just because I enjoyed doing it. And just like anything, if it pulls you, you want to do more of it. And even if it doesn't, it's great to have that opportunity to expose people, because they might not know that they want to be a musician if they weren't ever exposed to it. They didn't have the opportunity. So that's a great thing that art programs can do.
Can you talk a little bit about your own practice of practicing? It seems like to me that to get to the level that you are, where you're so precise, and you've got all the power, and you've got the dynamism in the whole entire thing, and you also play with a lot of other musicians in different ways. How is it that you approach your practicing? Do you call it practice?
Yeah, I call it practice, but it's also playing. It's playful. It's got to be playful.
That's great.
You know, I enjoy it. You have to enjoy the process of it, because it's like learning a language. You're just not going to become fluent overnight. And so rather than, you know, enjoying, the goal that, I speak this other language, music, you enjoy the day-to-day, getting a little better, learning a little something new, learning a new scale or song or whatever. And I enjoy those little things, and I think that helps me, because I think it's a lifelong path, you know. We're never going to get to a point where we're like, oh, that's it, I've learned all there is to know. No, there's a lot more. That's
exquisite. So that really parallels when I was at the Monterey Institute of International Studies, now Middlebury. What we noticed as we were putting together some musicals and different performances and things, that it was the people who were the most immersed in language, the translators and interpreters, that were like 99% of them were musicians of some sort. And so that parallel that you're talking about is really there. And we would see them, I was in a policy studies group, when we would see them poring over the dictionaries and kind of like feel bad that they were there again with the dictionaries. And I think, though, now that I look back, speaking to you just now, that I understand it more as more like the way you're describing practice. It's there's a curiosity there. There's an intent to know more and more. One word probably led them to want to know other words and whatnot. And so similarly, it sounds like that's what you're finding, that there's always more.
Yeah, there's always more, and it's all connected. And the more you learn, the more you see the connections and feel in between various genres, styles of music, even harmony.
Yes.
You know, just like anything, it just kind of builds and starts snowballing right into this bigger world that you have access to.
There's synergies there that keep reinforcing each other, right?
Yeah, it gets more fun the more you get into it, I think, just like with anything. But
so can you describe, so at some point you, I just remember your posters everywhere, because a few years ago, I can't remember exactly the year, but I remember there being like, all of a sudden, I didn't know you prior to that, when all of a sudden I saw your flyers everywhere. And and it just seemed like for all kinds of different things. And it seems like ever since then, now I keep seeing you and other people. Sometimes you're solo, sometimes you're with other groups. Right. Can you talk about how you formed these other groups and what it means to you to play in ensemble form as well as your solo work?
Yeah, I think just as a lover of music, and that's what I love to do, and share that with other people. I'm always looking for new opportunities for growth and different styles. For example, that Balkan piece, we put together this Balkan string project, which is specific, theme music from the Balkans, mostly Bulgaria and Romania, but Macedonia, Serbia, Turkey, etc.
Yeah, once you get going.
Yeah, exactly. And then we do like a Celtic theme thing, jazz, gypsy jazz specifically. There's all bluegrass. There's all sorts of avenues to go to. So to kind of pursue those different styles, I've formed different groups. But really like to mix it all up, and I think a lot of people like that too.
So somehow you have to get paid. Can you talk about how you make that part work? How do you balance the love that you have for the music, and you want to play, and you want to get with other people, and you want to do other things, but there's a business side of the whole entire operation. And can you just talk a little bit about how you mastered that, or how you have been growing that part over time?
Right. Well, like the music, it's a work in progress always. But I'm here. I'm playing music.
Yeah.
I actually haven't eaten yet today, but I'm gonna eat. Got a roof over my head, so I'm blessed in that regard. I think I just love playing music, and so the right connections and paths have opened up to me to be able to continue to pursue that, and I'm sure that's going to continue to evolve and change as time goes on. So
people find you. They come to you nowadays. More and more people are finding you, right? So they heard you, or they heard about you.
Yeah, I think they had my website on the screen. People can go to my website, daveholodiloff.com, and there's a link, book the band. We have different ensembles available. And so we do everything from concerts and dances to events. And I did a birthday party last night, weddings, pretty much any occasion that, calls for music. We'd love to be there and celebrate.
That's phenomenal.
Yes, people can book me there. But we also put on a lot of concerts and do festivals that are, family friendly, open to the public. I love it all.
It's okay. And so, can you talk about too, like, what do you have coming up that would be in, like, let's say August, September?
Gosh, well, I know in August I'll be at the West End Celebration.
Everybody's going to be there.
Yeah, on Saturday from 11:45 to 12:45.
Wonderful.
August 18th. And I know for people with aquarium passes, I'll be at the aquarium with my band on September 1st for that part of the evenings.
The Jazz by the Bay, or what do they call it? They call it something else.
I think it's
now.
called Evenings by the Bay now.
By the Bay.
It's like 6 to 8 p.m. on September 1st.
That's actually have you been there before? It's absolutely so exquisite. Just you can get little tickets and get a glass of wine, get some food, get whatever you want. Wander
it's
around
catered.
The whole entire aquarium, and then having music as well.
It's a pretty cool program.
And people dance.
Yeah, people dance. We did it last year. Yeah. and it's pretty wild to be playing music, and there's jellies swimming around and sharks. And
That's so great. Yeah.
yeah, it's a pretty cool experience. So those are some of the things off the top of my head that are coming up. But you can always go to the website, daveholodiloff.com/shows, to check all the concert updates, which get updated pretty regularly.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And you can also sign up on the mailing list on there to stay in touch and
that's a great
get
way to
exclusive
go.
updates. Yeah.
Yeah, and you have Facebook too, right?
Facebook, yep. Facebook.com/DaveHolodiloff.
Makes it simple. Dave Holodiloff for everything.
Yep, exactly. And you can download music through CD Baby,
Oh, good.
Amazon, iTunes, Google Play, you name it. Search Dave Holodiloff. It'll come up. You can sample. We've got 9 different albums.
So this is really intriguing to me, like, because you're downplaying a minute ago the business side, but that's all the part of the business, right? Is to make all that available to everyone.
Sure.
Make it easy for people to find you, easy for people to purchase your music. If they want to not just see you, but they say it's my wedding coming up and I want you there. They do that through the website too?
Yeah, we have a wedding inquiry form.
Oh, that's amazing. That's easy.
It makes it really easy. You just plug in the the date, the details, the venue, as much as you know, and I'll get back to you and we can plan your vision.
And for weddings, everybody's different what they want. Some people want something very formal. Some people want it just to have fun. Some people want something else entirely. But you now have the capacity. You have so many musicians that you can tap. Are you pretty much able to customize the experience for them?
Yeah, very much so.
That's pretty marvelous.
And sometimes we'll mix up different genres depending, for the ceremony, cocktails, dinner,
sweet,
or the dance reception.
And you can just segue through the whole thing, right?
Exactly. And sometimes, it could be...
they don't need 3 bands. They just have you in different formations.
Yeah, and we can add more guys as the night goes on. It's pretty fun to have that flexibility in the setup, and it makes for some really fun events. We've done so many weddings and different events over the years, but even this year we've done some beautiful Big Sur weddings.
Oh,
We have several more coming up.
Yeah. Excellent.
Anywhere. That's the beauty of acoustic music, is we can go to some pretty remote locations. Mountaintops and redwood groves where,
and it sounds so beautiful there as long as you have political. So can you just play us out with something that's a favorite of yours?
Sure. This is like an original off one of my latest CDs. It's called Rattlesnake Rumba. Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
It's just really my pleasure. This is the greatest thing ever. Thank you.
Thank you, Paulette.
That's wonderful. And if somebody wants to play your music, then they send you a message online and say, "May I please have permission to play this?"
Yep, exactly. Yeah,
because I really want to learn that piece.
Yeah, I have sheet music for it. If
you
you're
have
interested,
sheet music?
you can request it at daveholodiloff@gmail.com. Just send me an email.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Dave, thank you so much for being here. It's just been really, really great. Thank you.
Okay.